Hey guys, Nicole here, and I'm actually going to do a process video. It's been forever, I know, but I wanted to do one with one of these heritage layouts that I'm working on. So really quickly here, I'm showing you, you already saw that first layout in my last video. I just wanted to show you a couple layouts I had done in these last couple of days, just to kind of show you how I'm approaching this. And I'm having a great time using some supplies I've had in my stash for a while, using some antique supplies. I'm just having a really good time making these layouts and digging into these stories about my family. So this is an 8.5 by 11 one, and so the one I'm going to do today is also going to be 8.5 and 11. It's going to go behind this one in the album. I'm going to do a mix of 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11, maybe even some other sizes. But I just wanted to show you these layouts really quickly. And I'm right now kind of focused on one family, my dad's side. So I'm just showing you really quickly here the two paper pads I'm pulling papers out of, and those are the two paper pads I've been using for these 4 layouts I've done so far. And I've pulled out some papers that I wanted to use and some other items. So I'm scrapbooking 3 photos. They're all 3 photos over time of my grandpa and his 4 brothers. And so when he's like a little toddler, when he's in like elementary school age, and then when he's older. And I have this ledger little book that I know I'm gonna tear a sheet out of and use because they lived on a farm, so all the boys farmed growing up. And these supplies just make me feel like it goes along with that theme very nicely. So I initially was going to use this paper as a background, but I ended up changing this out and using this paper as a photo mat instead. But I'll figure that out here pretty soon. It just is too dark for me. I wanted the background to be a little bit lighter, but like I said, I'm doing 8.5 by 11, and I was gonna do a mat that just felt too busy to me, because I know I'm gonna want to journal on that ledger paper that I pulled out of that old ledger book, and I really want to use that that tear out sheet from the textbook. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I want to layer these papers. So I decided that this will be a nice background. I like this paper because of the rulers on it, which, to me kind of symbolizes childhood. It also symbolizes growing up and getting older, and because this layout was really about these 5 brothers growing over time, probably over a span of, my guess would be maybe 15 years in those 3 pictures. And so I thought that worked really nicely. So I decided, in this denim paper I love because they're in overalls in a couple of the pictures, which I'm guessing they were in probably just about every day. The pictures where they were dressed up, I'm assuming they took the pictures for some special occasion. But generally I'm pretty sure that their normal wear was jeans or overalls of some type. And so I thought that matched very nicely. And you can see in that top picture they're in overalls. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I want to lay these photos out. And I'm keeping it pretty simple. One thing I like about this size of layout is that you don't have quite as much room to fill, and it kind of takes away some choices for you, which is a-okay with me. So these are actually the original photos. They have been scanned, so they are computerized. Also, I took photos of them with my camera, just in case I, for some reason, can't access them digitally. My mom had scanned them, and I'm pretty positive I have them on my external hard drive. However, her computer sadly was stolen like a week after she died. It was in a car, and that car was broken into, and so I wasn't able to get all of her photos off of there until like as I was planning on doing. But for the most part, her and I shared a lot of photos, and so I think I have them. But just in case I don't have them somewhere, I did take photos of them so that I can reprint them if I need to. I have no problem scrapbooking the originals at all. I think they're probably safer in the scrapbook album than they will be where they've been sitting. So, and these have the coolest look to them. Like, they're just so cool looking. I love these old photos. So that middle photo is from 1938, which means the first one's probably from, I don't know, early 1930s. The latter one probably mid 1940s. I should have known that was going to rip. So, and I ended up having to replace this whole piece down the road anyway because I mess up on the journaling. And so always put the tape on the paper first, the bottom paper. So I learned my lesson quickly there, which I knew that. I just, for some reason, thought that for some reason this tape runner would be different, I guess. I don't know. So I've matted each of them in a different color. I just love the brown, reds, and blues together a lot. I've used that color combination a lot. I think they're very masculine, and yet they add the red and the blue adds some color. But it just, to me, feels like that time period. Like they lived on a farm, and they were always in like blue overalls and probably red hats. And, it's just that it just felt right to me. So I just layered that textbook paper back there. I've always loved old textbook paper. So I just collect old books and that I have no trouble tearing apart and just tear pages out of them. So here I'm just trying to figure out, I want to get some more color on here. And I'm looking in this basket of supplies and trying to figure out what I can layer underneath there. And I find these tags. These are from Seven Gypsies, I believe. And the issue I'm having is the red on the tags is a lot brighter than the red of that middle photo is matted on. And so I'm trying to find a tag that doesn't have that bright red because it just doesn't feel right to me. So I think I end up going with this one. It really just has the tans and the blues. And I come across that corrugated sheet while I'm there, and I try to fit it on, and I don't end up making room for it. But this twine, I do also come across in that basket, and I decide to use that for the hole in the tag. And I think the color of this just wasn't quite right to me. I try to cut off a smaller piece and fit it in somewhere, but decide that it's just not going to work. So I'm just trucking along and deciding I don't like it. Sometimes you just have to see it on there to know. So I'm liking that tag. I like that it brings in that navy blue. And then just some of the different tones of the browns that show up in that background paper, the ruler paper. This pen's been twined in the tag. And again, another texture that I think fits a page well, just because I'm sure that they used a lot of rope and twine and those types of things on the farm. And I just think that just fits the theme of the page very nicely. It's a good texture. So I come across this Bo Bunny chipboard sheet and decide that these are some fun elements because I'm talking about the passage of time and how they changed over time. And so I love these old clocks. And so I tuck, I think I end up doing 3 of them. Just trying to figure out how I want to use them. I decided to go with the bigger one and so it fills this whole space. And then do 2 smaller ones to create my 3. And I just like how that overlaps the top and bottom photos, but is underneath that middle one. I think that kind of brings it all together. This one has some red to it, which is nice. I was looking for more ways to get some of those colors on the page. And then if I do the third one now or if I do that later, I think I maybe add that later. I see these Roman numerals, and I know that they were probably meant to go on one of the clocks, but I love the fact that I was just going to use the V for 5, but then I didn't know if that would make much sense. And so I decided to just pull out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 brothers, and then actually use that as the first like word, quote unquote, of my title. So eventually this ends up in the top, but so I end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I do brothers. And I like how that's just kind of a unique way to, instead of spelling out the word 5, kind of a unique way to do the title using using those fun chipboard numbers. So I pulled these blue letters because I have that bottom mat is blue, and I wanted to get some more blue up here, and decided to do brothers with that blue, and then do it all along the top. I don't think I make you watch me do this. I think I pause it. There we go. So there's my title at the top. Now I feel like I'm heavy on the blue on the top, and so I feel like I need it in one more spot. And so I have these scraps of this wood grain paper. It's not exactly the same color of blue, but when it's not next to each other, you don't notice. Or when they're not next to each other, you don't really notice. I just want it peeking out a tiny bit, and I keep tearing this darn paper. So it ends up working out fine. I have to replace it, but I just cut it down a little bit, and then I end up actually tucking the other one down at the bottom, just because now that top title, or the title's on the top, the space between my title and the top of the page is less than my elements on the bottom as compared to the bottom of the page, if that makes sense. So the margins are not quite equal. So I feel like I need one more little thing just to get some more focus on the blue, but then also to fill in some of that space. And it's still not quite even, but that's okay. So here I'm done. I added that third clock, and I journaled after having to replace that ledger paper. But that is a completed layout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you're enjoying this. It's been really fun to dig into these stories of my ancestors. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Thank you. Happy scrapping.